Hey, yo, man, Silent Majority. Welcome back to Leveled Writing. I'm Nostos. This is the penultimate part, actually. For today, we're integrating into Level 5L, time travel. And these are just a couple of things that I want to integrate. Um, so let's start with, like, what we know. So, Back to the Future is probably the quintessential time travel story. It gets a lot of things right, it gets a lot of things wrong. One of the things it gets wrong. Hold on, let me see here. Is time erasure? Like, why does time slowly rip away from a person? If you went back and did something to undo a thing, a lot of things, uh, like, like a lot of ripples throughout time tend to happen. Not exactly like the butterfly effect. I hate the butterfly effect, but really, you make one small change to yourself in the past, you yourself will be different in this future. It should be more or less instant. So one thing that we gotta combine with time erasure is what is the consistency with someone messing with time. Define that aspect. So we have a few instances. This is yeah, Marty. Um, what did he do? He changed what about the past? No, when he was about to be erased on stage, but that was slowly and then quickly changed, which shouldn't really be the case because time should be able to read it, like what's happening in the future, unless Morty's just experiencing him like fading away until George McFly knocks the dude who took Lorraine. If you're young and you haven't seen this movie, try finding it. Good luck. Find an old DVD somewhere or VHS if you can find that and find a player for that or Blu-ray. That'd be sick though. Watching that again. We also have Biff in part two, where Biff goes to the past to give himself an almanac. He somehow manages to return to un the unfixed future. He somehow manages to return to the unfixed future. That shouldn't happen because later, when Doc and Marty are in the altered past, Doc draws the timeline. It's little stuff like that. So but it's that be consistent. That's one thing we gotta check on. What was it? Time loops. When it's like we have Groundhog's Day for this one, Groundhog's Day, and what was the other one? Last Day of Summer. This is the Nickelodeon movie. Yeah. The Last Day of Summer and Groundhog's Day are quintessential time loop stories, living the same day over and over again. This can be interesting. This could literally be an arc in an anime to get someone to confess something. Potential arc, show slash story. Like, what I don't like is that it's not used as an arc to develop a character. It's not used, well, to my knowledge anyway. Let me be clear. We also have time loops, and I'm not fond of time loops either. Time loops tend to get nuts. You have to find a way to escape it. And then we have, oh, what's it called? We do have escape ones, but then we have, oh, what's it called in Neptunia? Sisters versus Sisters. What is it? It was, oh, it was like time interactivity. Time interactive fusion? It's like, it's the act of interacting with one's time self, either fusing or being ultimately erased from time to fix the timeline. We also have, oh my god, we have Steins Gate, we have yeah, sorry, I want to add for you to be consistent with what happens, because that can lead to a lot of things. And oh boy, let's see, we have time interactive fusion happens if anything at all. We also have Terminator slash DBZ Trunks time physics. I'm playing time physics where you can go back in time, but the future still is as it was when you left. It was unchanged. This I don't like, because then you're stuck with an original timeline, and if that gets fixed in any way, a lot of things start to ripple out, and it gets really, really complicated to fix. Speaking of which, we have, hold on. We have Hitman. Reborn. Reborn. I love this anime. It's quite long though. It's like 200 episodes. I'm gonna spare you the details. This is a long show. If you're wondering how I finished all of it, literally, I watched like the first like 20 episodes. No, it was like 20 something episodes. And when I saw that there was like 200 episodes and stuff, I just jumped forward like 10 or so parts. They were still in like some like baseball game for like 10 episodes, 10, 20 episodes. It was insane. Yeah, that I'm really stupid. But one of the key things, now I forget the guy's name. The main BBG was effectively the reverse flash wreaking havoc on all timelines. I actually forget how they end him, but they did something to him. I'm not 100% sure. Let me double check. Oh, okay, that's how they did it. So, because here's the thing, I remember what happens. I don't remember how or exactly what happens. So, in simple terms, in here, when you jump through time and spend time in another timeline, bear with me, this is getting a little wordy. Time advances in your original timeline. Thus, what was his name? What's the bad guy's name? This guy. Thus, Byakuran was able to influence the past and corrupt the future in order to return to the original timeline. So in here, they wipe their memories of their time in the future and thus redefeat Yakuran and return to the present 9 years and 10 9 years and 10 no, isn't it 10 years and 9 months? 9 years and 10 months. I was right. Months without those memories and remove Byakuran from the timeline. And here we have another one. Oh my goodness. Let me see, what else do we got? What was another really good aspect of timeline erasure? Well, no, just alternate times or whatever. What do we call that? There's another thing. Oh, right, mine. So in one of my stories, time travel is a thing. In it, it's the need. So I'm gonna call it. I call it the God string theory. But effectively, this theory is that you you're an outsider influencing the past, effectively the past. When you influence the past, the the you going to the past goes there, and the alterations you make that prevent you from existing in the present, then there's no way for you to get back, and thus the time travel fails. So anything you do to the past to change the present can't happen. So what winds up happening is, so the way I'm gonna say this is, if you're writing a modern story and the hero wants to time travel to retrieve Excalibur and retrieve Excalibur, then the following needs to happen. Number one, oh no, they're going there to retrieve Excalibur. Depending on when they go there, they need to take it from Gawain. Because here's the thing, right? If you take it, first off, you're not the chosen one of that story, because it's Arthur who pulls Excalibur from the sword and stone and out and anvil. Gawain inherits the sword from Arthur. Arthur gets Carwinanan. So you either need to take it from the time Arthur pulls the sword, or after he passes it to Gawain. It it would almost be impossible to inherit these weapons if you're gonna try and retrieve Excalibur. You can't pull it from the sword, from the stone. This can be done after Arthur pulls Excalibur. Sorry, it can't be done after it because the new character has no knowledge. Must be done after its legend is it's told. Because the reason why you want it is because it's really powerful. At least to your character, they think it's powerful, depending on what Excalibur you give it. You give the character. So you have to obtain the Excalibur after its legend is done. So if you went back in time to like the year 500 when like the story would technically take place, there then Arthur would just be pulling the sword. If you waited till 520 or so, where Arthur's about 30, 40 or so, getting on in his years, maybe on the verge of dying to Morgan Le Fay, he'll then pass it down to Gawain. After Gawain adventures a bit, you could probably slay Gawain on a quest and just get the sword then. So legend is told, or after Gawain inherits Excalibur, you you could um get it from him. Doesn't mean you have to slay him, because then when you return, nothing stopped you from going into the past. Because say instead of him being in England, King Arthur, let's say, was in Europe. No, in let's say it was in Ireland instead. Then you'd have Arthur and Gawain like doing their. It'd be the same thing if they were in like. Why did I mention Ireland? Christ, give me a second. So, example, say your character was. Oof, how do I explain this? Because when I'm doing it, my character doesn't want the sword. He winds up obtaining it later. Like after he returns, the sword falls down. Effectively, it's like blessed. So of course, like I hint at the sword, kind of being like, "Oh, I'm gonna be joining this guy in the future" or something. The the thing I'm trying to get at here is getting Excalibur doesn't change the past. It becomes the explanation as to why it's missing in the future. When you return, nothing stopped for a minute. So, him. You you're going back to retrieve Excalibur. Hold on. In modern story, when a hero time travels, once a time travels to retrieve Excalibur, after its legend is told, or after Gawain inherits Excalibur, you can get it from him. You going back to retrieve Excalibur becomes the reason it is missing in the future. Sorry, people of the past have terrible memory, so yeah. This becomes the lock we're looking for. This is the actual like stopgap. I think anything else I want to do with time travel. Yeah, I still don't get. I don't get this at all. Like consciousness fusion through time travel. Because then, won't your body be an amalgamation of the ages you've become, or would you like age rapidly because one of you time traveled so much and the other one has barely time traveled, and thus your bodies would age? How does time interactive fusion work? Time loops are weird. Try and find an escape route as fast as you can. These are some really great examples of, yeah. So that is that. My next part is gonna be, um, not the yes factor. It's gonna be, oh yeah, integrating AI. Look forward to seeing that. Till next time. Okay. Ciao.